Welcome to the Resilient Woman Leadership Podcast, where professionally minded women explore the art of grounding into the powerful foundation that makes us resilient leaders in business and in life. I'm your host, Kathryn Regganie, and I believe that when we women connect deeply with our truest selves, we can collectively shift our leadership culture towards compassion, cohesion, and true creativity. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode. My solo episode this week, I'm going to be talking to you more about my conversation with Leslie Godet last week. And I really wanted to, touch base and talk about the whole piece that we talked about around self-care. And that's really where I start with people when I'm working with them. There's really a healing piece. And this is where I talk about shredding the dragon woman armor that we have to put on to survive in the corporate environment these days. And I think it's really important for us to, first of all, really become aware that we have this armor on ourselves. And once we're aware of that and can feel that it's there, then we can make a decision to change and learn how to sort of disarm ourselves or have a more healthy type of armor for ourselves and really calm down our nervous system so that we can just feel good again. Because so many of us in corporate America today just get so exhausted by the good old boys energy and we just feel like we get fried. So last week with Leslie, we had talked about the self-care piece, and self-care not necessarily meaning going to the spa and getting our nails done, although there is a time and a place for that as well. But when I'm talking about healing and doing some self-care, it's really about tuning in and paying attention to yourself, or your dragon, if you will. If you've taken the Dragon Woman quiz, you have a little bit better idea of where you fall with the dragons. But if we can learn to just take a moment and stop, feel that armor on ourselves, and decide whether or not it is appropriate for us anymore. And if it's not, how can we change that? Make it a little bit more flexible. So it's really important from my perspective to calm that nervous system down. So how do you do that? I teach a lot of different methods and modalities for that. So I'll just go over a few, but in general, there's a lot of breath work that is involved with it. Being able to take those deep, nice, long, deep breaths and then letting them out really slowly. That really helps with calming that nervous system. Sometimes you can't do that at work, but using different techniques like maybe a box breathing, inhaling for 4 seconds, exhaling for 4 seconds, inhaling for 4 seconds, exhaling for 4 seconds. Because when you're in a meeting and things are getting tense, just having that rhythmic breathing, nobody can see you doing it. It's really helpful. It calms your nervous system down, gets the blood flowing back to that frontal cortex so that you can really think about what needs to be said next. So it's really learning those tools. Another thing is how does your physical body feel? Another thing I teach is really paying attention to the messages that your body is telling you. Do you have a stomach ache? Do you have headaches or migraines? Do you have stomach issues? What's going on with your body, and what ways can you help by just simply paying attention to it? Sometimes going to a massage therapist, getting some of those muscle aches and pains out is really helpful. Sometimes learning about diet. What are you putting in your body? Is there some inflammation there that you can help reduce by just paying attention to what you're eating? Things like that are really good ways to just slow down, pay attention to yourself, take some really good self-care. And sometimes it might just mean stopping for 30 seconds, stopping for 60 seconds. Maybe it's like Leslie was talking about last week, setting your alarm at 5:30 and saying, I'm done with work. Or setting your alarm a little bit earlier in the morning so that you have 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes to meditate or just have your alone time. My mom used to say, just go and it's your alone and be quiet time. So that's something that I was sort of brought up with, not the meditation piece, but it's just the alone quiet time so that you can process your own thoughts, your own emotions, process what's really going on with your body so that you can learn what you need to slow down, because it's not everybody. It's not the same thing for everybody. And when you can just learn to take some of that time out, learn to breathe effectively, then you can reactivate your rest response. You can reactivate some of the pleasure. Maybe you start to cook with a little bit more focus and passion because, yes, it's something you have to do, but gosh, isn't it fun to be able to do that? And then you can live with so much more peace as well. So those were kinds of the things that I like to work with people on when we're just starting out working together, when we're in that healing phase, really trying to shred that dragon woman armor that, like I said, we all try to put on to protect ourselves in that adrenaline-fueled environment. But once we can learn our different tools to really slow that down, take time out for ourselves, and just be a better person, it can be quite impactful, both professionally and personally. I look forward to talking to you a little bit more on our next episode. In the meantime, if you like this episode, go ahead and like or comment about this episode. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks for listening to the Resilient Woman Leadership Podcast. Remember to take my Dragon Woman quiz at dragonwomanquiz.com. In just 2 minutes, this fun quiz will reveal your Dragon Woman and connect you to the resources so that you can leverage her power for good. And if you've enjoyed this episode, subscribe now so you can hear more inspiring stories from other resilient, wise women who will uplift and inspire you. Your review really matters to me, so please gift me back by reviewing this episode. Want more Kathryn? You can find me at energy-pathways.com.